According to Lisa Hanna, one of the PNP's presidential candidates, information coming out that she is unpopular among PNP delegates is a myth. Lisa Hanna is one of the People's National Party's presidential candidates whose intention is to replace Dr. Peter Phillips next month on November 7th during the presidential elections. According to statements that were recently made by Ms. Hanna, the suggestion that she is not popular among PNP delegates is false information. Based on a statement that Hanna made, she mentioned that out of the 14 opposition members of parliament and 97 councillors, she has support from 10 members of parliament and 63 councillors from the People's National Party. Her comments come amidst a caustic letter that came from constituents that have been circulating on social media that has accused her of being divisive. According to Ms. Hanna, they are running an internal campaign. They are meeting with the delegates face-to-face on the ground, and they are very excited. They are resolute. They meet with them one-on-one. They meet with them in meetings. So you might not be seeing what our campaign is doing, because I have been very clear that the internal party politics should not be displayed in the public arena, because that is also a part of the healing process, and I will not have any public spat or conversations. Further went on to state that that is why the media asked me to respond to Mark. I do not, because I said I will respond to Mark face to face. So that too is a myth, and I think the media is trying to create stories, because I have not been necessarily allowing them to film our discussions or those delegates' meetings. Neither have I given them too much information. This is what the Senate Southeastern Member of Parliament has stated after it was suggested that her popularity was more at the national level than at the party level. Lisa Hanna and Mark Golding will be going up for the challenge of taking on the presidency of the People's National Party on November 7th. Recently, Mark Golding had a virtual launch for his presidential campaign, and many persons are expecting that, based on the support that is coming in both from PNP members and the private sector, that Mark Golding will become the next president of the People's National Party. According to Lisa Hanna, she and her Bring Back the Love campaign team have been in the field moving from constituencies to constituency, and they have been making a huge impact. She further went on to state that so the delegates are coming out and they are listening to her message. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we can tell you is that we have 10 out of 14 MPs that are supporting the Bring Back the Love campaign. We have 63 of the 97 PNP councillors that have endorsed and given me their support. So what we have are the internal mechanisms that are supporting the Bring Back the Love campaign, and the delegates who are coming out to say, you know what, we want to give this young woman a chance. We've grown up with her. We've seen her fight with us. That is the statement coming from Lisa Hanna. It seems like she has majority support from PNP members. She has all of 10 out of 14 PNP MPs supporting her, and all of 63 out of the 97 PNP councillors supporting her at this time. So it is only natural that we will be expecting Ms. Hanna to become the next president of the People's National Party if everything goes according to plans. Hanna further went on to add that she has been equally supportive of those who are currently supporting her. She further noted that she has over the years walked hand in hand with many persons at the national level, at the local government level, and during by-elections. She further went on to state that from Negril Point to Moran Point, every single constituency can say, you know, Lisa has been there for us. So that's the difference between myself and Mark. Mark has been more of a legislator, and that was his job, and I respect him for that. He was the Minister of Justice, but he has not been on the ground. He has not served even a full term. He's really going into his full term now as a member of parliament. Among those who have thrown their support behind Lisa Hanna's presidential campaign are St. Catherine Eastern Member of Parliament Denise Daly, Natalie Nita from St. Catherine North Central, Michael Phillips from Manchester North Western, Maurice Guy from St. Mary Central, Philip Paulwell from Eastern Kingston, and councillors Audrey Smith-Facey, Dennis Gordon, and Alaric Campbell. In the interim, however, Lisa Hanna is aware of the letter that is being circulated. Assumption is that this letter would have come from some constituents from the Southeast Senan constituency. According to Ms. Hanna, I am into vision and not vitriol. We've run a clean campaign. I continue to implore persons to stay high and not to go low and not to hit below the belt. I will continue to do that because I was one of the first persons to come out and say the kind of campaign that I was prepared to run. Goldin, who recently made a statement, has said that the letter did not originate from his camp and that he has cautioned his supporters not to share it or to descend into gutter politics. Hanna is expected to be nominated today, October 22, whilst Goldin is scheduled to be nominated on Friday, October 23. Lisa Hanna is in total disagreement with criticisms and statements that have been made that she is a divisive leader. She is the presidential candidate for the People's National Party, and she is not in agreement with any of the criticisms about her being divisive and factious. These criticisms have been leveled against her by some within the People's National Party, and they have argued that, having been in critical positions over the years, her record indicates that she is divisive. Lisa Hanna, of course, has stated that people have adopted and passed on unfavorable narratives about her without doing their research. She is a 4-term Member of Parliament for the constituency of Senan Southeastern, and she has been heavily criticized by factions within the opposition People's National Party, who have grouped her among those responsible for the current situation that the People's National Party is encountering and dealing with and trying to recover from. Hanna was also come under criticism from councillors within her very own constituency in CISA over her stewardship of the seat, is not prepared to add that storyline to her resume. Therefore, she is in total disagreement, and she's basically saying that it is not true and that persons need to do their research and check her record of achievements and check her history with the People's National Party. According to Lisa Hanna, her record does not speak to that divisiveness. If you look at her record as regional chairman, having been elected for 8 years consecutively, what you will recognize is that she presided over a region where there was absolutely no fallout in other constituencies. Hanna further went on to state that during her chairmanship of the party's Region 1, which comprises constituencies in Senan and Trelawney, it had been nothing but smooth operations and everything has gone well during her chairmanship of those regions. She said that despite a falling out with 2 of her councillors in CISA, which included Lydia Richards of the Bensonton Division in her constituency, whose challenge for her leadership of the constituency happened in the year 2016 but failed. She further went on to state that Richards is publicly supporting Mark Goldin, who is the other candidate who is seeking to replace Dr. Peter Phillips by getting the mandate from the PNP delegates. However, according to Lisa Hanna, Lydia Richards has her full support. Lisa Hanna went on to state that the label of divisiveness being thrown upon her would hold water, and she sought to have Richards sacked. Those information coming out seem to be false. She said that she has never sought to have anyone sacked, neither those who have continued to oppose her. She further went on to state that across the constituencies as well, she has led that region to 2 victories at the parish council level in in the parishes of Senan and Trelawney, and according to Lisa, they had the best electoral victory since the year 1989. So sometimes she thinks that people take a narrative without actually doing the research. The fact of the matter is that people keep using a particular stance of a councillor challenging me for the seat in my own constituency as a basis for saying that I am divisive. If you were to ask every constituency, all 63 constituency, if you ask the workers in those constituency, if you ask the councillors I've worked with over the past decade about who I am, they will tell you that Lisa Hanna is a team player. But some persons keep using the fact that there was a councillor in my constituency who, I should say, it is not a secret that she was part of another group of councillors that ousted a sitting cabinet minister, Aluna Samba, before she could complete her first term. I am now in my fourth term. I have not tried to change those councillors. They are still there. At the same time, she further went on to state that those who have tagged her as a troublesome person should look at the information, look at the research, look at the data, and to conclude whether or not those facts are representative of a divisive person. Lisa Hanna's campaign manager, Donna Scott Motley, has come to her defense, and she has described Lisa Hanna as loyal. She further went on to state that Lisa Hanna has never done anything which would harm the People's National Party. When she lost the vice presidential race, she was gracious. Lisa Hanna was kind. She was supportive because even though she lost, she placed the party first. When Mark Golding resigned as treasurer, Lisa Hanna came and took up that position, filed the breach, and became very creative at raising funds for the party. So I evaluate her service, I evaluate her loyalty, and I've also seen her in Parliament. According to Donna Scott Motley, Lisa Hanna is a fighter. She's going to stand up for people's rights, and that is what she desires. Scott Motley also said that in a bid to get more delegates who head to the polls on November 7th to elect the new president of the People's National Party. Of course, this president will be the successor to Dr. Peter Phillips, who has submitted his resignation on September 4th, after the conclusion of the September 3rd general elections, which saw the Jamaica Labour Party taking all of 49 seats to the People's National Party's 14 seats, and this served as a massive loss to the People's National Party. And of course, they have been trying to make changes ever since, but they're still trying to recover from even campaign financial issues from 2016, and they're trying to recover from the 2019 Bunting Challenge and all of the damage that those caustic statements on the campaign trail would have caused the party. Now, of course, Lisa Hanna is trying to run a different style of campaigning. She is meeting one-on-one with councillors and delegates to get them to give her their mandate on November 7, 2020. Of course, she has gotten endorsements from Donna Scott Motley, and Donna Scott Motley says that Lisa Hanna is not divisive. However, she is very loyal, hardworking, and she's always ready to step up to the challenge. And Lisa Hanna stepped up to the challenge when Mark Golding left the position of treasurer, and Lisa Hanna has been holding that position for some years. However, as it stands, the impression out there is that she is divisive. And this is especially linked to issues that have arisen in her constituency, where councillors have gone up to challenge her for the representative post within the People's National Party, within that very Southeast Senan constituency. Of course, do you agree with the information that is being presented? Do you also think that Lisa Hanna is a divisive leader? Or do you believe that she's hardworking, that she's a team player, and that she is loyal, and that she has never done anything to cause any harm to the People's National Party? Of course, subscribe, leave your comments down below, and we will respond to you. And of course, share the content. And of course, remember to be safe. November 7th is coming. We will see who will be who will be the next president of the People's National Party. And we will hear from all of the delegates when they will speak by voting for their best choice.